Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Have you ever imagined what it would be like if you had a superpower? Think how differently your life would be if you could walk through walls or fly or become invisible. Nothing would ever be the same again, would it? Well, I want to tell you about some superpowers, or let's call them skills, that you already have. Imagine you and I are a couple of ducks walking along a path, and I say to you, "Where are you going to?" And you say, "I'm going to Duck World." And I say, "That sounds like fun, I'll come with you." So we walk along the path and we come to a big lake. And you say, "Oh no, what are we going to do now?" And I go, "You idiot, we can swim." So we jump into the lake and we swim across the lake and carry on the path. Later on, we come to a 10-foot wall and you say, "Oh no, what are we going to do now?" And I say, "You idiot, we can fly." So we fly over the 10-foot wall. And there in front of us is Duck World, like Disney World, but everything for ducks. And we get there, and they won't let you in because you're not big enough for the rides. No, ignore that. Anyway, we get there. So, whatever goals you're aiming at in your life, I'm going to remind you of 15 superpowers or skills, let's call them, that you have that you've either forgotten you have or you're not using them enough. And 15 superpowers used, 15 skills or powers used efficiently may add up to a superpower which could change your life. So here they are. There are 5 mental powers, 5 emotional powers, and 5 physical powers. The first mental power is imagination. Everything in this world that you see started out as an idea in somebody's mind. The imagination is the cauldron of creation. And you have an imagination as well. You can encourage it. You can sit down and think, try and let your imagination flow. Many times we live day to day without having to use our imagination. It's like clockwork. That's not the kind of person you are if you're watching this and you're trying to achieve something. Use your imagination. It's one of your powers. Knowledge. Everybody says knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more power you will have. Learn things, watch documentaries, read books, increase your knowledge. I'm not talking about a complete revolution in your knowledge, because as you know, with all this series, I'm talking about protopia, which means everything getting better a little bit at a time, day by day, everything getting better. So if you can learn a little bit every day, so your knowledge is increasing, that's all we're after. Number 3 on the mental powers is effort. Are you prepared to put in the effort to achieve what you want to achieve? It's not going to be easy. If you want to climb a mountain, it's going to be very, very hard. But when you get to the top and you see the view, you'll realize it was all worthwhile. And sometimes the effort gives the project meaning anyway. If you'd just been hovered up there in a helicopter and dropped at the top of the mountain, you haven't put the effort in, you won't appreciate it as much. You appreciate it because you've put the effort in. Number 4 is attention. Can you pay attention for an extended amount of time? These days, people disparage the youth for having short attention spans, but I think it's just as likely that we are fed shorter and shorter snippets of information these days by people who want to get more advertising revenue. I know that editorials in newspapers have got shorter and shorter over the years, maybe so they can fit more ads, I don't know. But maybe we have got a long attention span, but we're fed these bite-sized things over and over again to keep our attention. So I believe that we can have a long attention span. You need to pay attention over a long period of time to achieve what you want to achieve. And the 5th one is planning. Now, planning is extremely important. They say an hour of planning saves 3 hours of work. If you plan what you're going to do, sit down and think very carefully about it, write a detailed plan about what you're going to do, what you'll do if something goes wrong, what directions you can go in. And then when you're in the field and doing it, if those things do go wrong, you know what to do. You're not going to waste time trying to sort out a new plan. You know what to do. So planning is vital. So that's the 5 mental powers. Emotional powers. Number 1, receptivity. Be open to new ideas. Absorb ideas from the world and then filter the ones that are useful to you, that get you where you're going. Ignore the ones that are destructive and negative. Keep what's beneficial, throw away what's rubbish, but be receptive to everything. Number 2 is self-examination. It's very important to know yourself. Interrogate yourself regularly. We can call it, I've called it pit stop before. You're living your life and you stop, have a pit stop to change your tyres and put some fuel in, tighten everything up, and just remember what you're trying to do, what direction you're going in, and where you're going. You've got to know yourself, why you're doing what you're doing, and where you're going, where you want to be. That's very important. Even if just every night you sit down with a diary and think about, what did I do today? Did I get towards my goal? Or once a week, an hour of serious self-reflection, but it is very important. Number 3 is enthusiasm. You can keep your enthusiasm fired up. If you want to buy a Ferrari, God help you, put pictures of Ferraris up all over your house to remind yourself that that's what you're aiming for. You want a Ferrari. Keep it before you all the time so that the enthusiasm is there. Maybe you want to do something a bit more worthwhile than that, but keep reminding yourself of what you want to do to keep the fire burning. Number 4 is curiosity. ABC, always be curious. Be curious about everything in the world. There's new science, there's new AI out, there's new biology, there's new things all the time. Be curious about the world, and be curious about the people that you know as well, your friends and your acquaintances. Be curious about them, not nosy. Just be interested in their lives and regard it as important, because it is. And number 5 is ambition. Nothing wrong with ambition. If you want to achieve large things, you can do it. Look at all the big men through history who have achieved great things. Read their biographies. Find out what they were like as well. Don't be ashamed of having a large ambition. If you want anything from starting a corner shop to becoming an astronaut and going to the moon or another planet, it's your ambition. You keep it. And the 3rd is physical powers. 5 physical powers that you have. The first is speech. Now, the power of a speech is hard to overestimate. The power of speeches throughout history have changed the world. So I don't expect you to become a great orator, but think carefully about how you speak and improve your vocabulary if you can. Introduce new words into your speech and try to say exactly what you mean and no more. So easy to waffle. I do it myself. But if you can just concentrate on what you want to say and keep it succinct, that's what good speech makers do. A lot of speech, especially political speech, is trying to persuade people of a point of view, trying to deny faults. I think it's far better to be honest with your speech and just let people see who you are and what you believe. And if you're a good person, which I believe most people are, they will agree with you and they will go along with you. Number 2 is facial expressions. Now, again, I don't expect you to become an actor, but a facial expression can make a huge difference. If you're talking to someone and you're delivering your words, but a different facial expression can make a difference to what your words mean, or they can emphasize them or de-emphasize them, depending on the expression. So look into that, see what you can do. And also, number 3, gestures. If I say, it's your fault, or if I say, it's your fault, there's a world of difference between that. So have a look at the gestures, again, that great speech makers use. They use their hands, they move their body. The body language enforces and amplifies what they're saying. And you can do that as well. That increases your power. Number 4 is posture. Posture is very important. In terms of power, if you look at a bent up beggar stumbling along the street, he's got no power at all. But a 5-star general, how does he stand? He stands proud and tall and erect. Why? Because he's got an enormous amount of power. So if you assume that position, that stance, it'll make people think you're more powerful. You'll probably feel more powerful yourself by just standing like that, but it will certainly make people feel that you're more powerful. So it's an important thing to do. And the fifth is writing. The power of the written word has changed the world. We all know that. So whatever your level of writing, you can improve all the time. Put effort into improving it. Reading, writing, just do a diary, start a diary, do a little log of your life and the things you've achieved and what you want to achieve. Write things down. When I was young, we used to write each other letters. It's all electronic these days, but the art of letter writing a handwritten letter to somebody you care about, and they got it through the post and they could read it, hold it in their hands. That was powerful. But still, the power of writing, you write something on the internet and it goes around the world. So you can write what you believe, what you want to do, think about it. It's powerful. So what I'm saying is these 15 powers that you have, 5 mental powers, 5 emotional powers, and 5 physical powers, if you only increased your use of those powers by 10% for each one, that's like adding up to 150% better in your effectiveness in your quest to achieve your goals, which is a huge increase. When we talk about protopia, we're only talking about things getting better 1%, 2% at a time. But if you pay attention to all of these things and you get a little bit better at all of them, that adds up to an enormous difference. So your whole life could be different by remembering these 15 powers that you have. And I'll just finish off with them again so you remember them, but I'll write them in the notes anyway. Mental powers: imagination, knowledge, effort, attention, and planning. Emotional powers: receptivity, self-examination, enthusiasm, curiosity, and ambition. And your physical powers are speech, facial expressions, gestures, posture, and writing. And I hope you'll remember to use those 15 powers more day by day, and your whole power will increase. I hope some of this has been useful to you and it has a good effect on your future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.